One of the greatest artists of all time just dropped another great piece of art. And like I always say about good art, it's needed to be viewed. It's needed to give the proper respect of discernment to. You can't just look at it all fast and then make your judgment about the art without letting it sit and soak into that mind of yours. It's your boy Dame. Subscribe to Dame's World. The piece of art that I'm talking about today is Kendrick Lamar, The Heart Part 5. If you don't know Kendrick, he has a series of songs called The Heart, usually gearing up for his album, which is to come. In this case, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Everybody been waiting for K-Dot to drop. You feel me? It's like we damn near depending on K-Dot for our well-being. You feel me? Which is why we need to pray for Kendrick Lamar. Ain't nobody praying for him, like he said. You know what I'm saying? Support and love people in these positions that use their liberty to speak out and express discontent for the system for our people, which is what he is doing. But the Heart Part 5 is just something he uses to gear us up and get us ready, get us in that frame of mind for what he has to come in the future, which I'm sure Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers is going to be fire. But let's get to the Heart Part 5. So much context for me to break down. Disclaimer, of course, I'm not Kendrick Lamar, so my breakdown is just my interpretation. There's no 100% validity as to what everything in here means. Like I said, it's just my perspective and my interpretation of the context. But from what I've interpreted, there's a lot of context. A lot of art. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, what about a video with words in it? That's worth infinite amount of words and interpretations. So this is what Kendrick Lamar gives us. The Heart Part 5. It starts with a quote at the bottom or a statement. It says, I am, period, all of us, period. Now, just reading that semantics, I am all of us, without the periods, that's just like a reference to our connectivity as beings. We're connected to one another on a principle that's like quantum mechanics. It's not physics or the tangible things that we can see, but something more so we can feel. I am all of us, meaning when you go through pain and you go through struggle, I also go through it, which also allows me to care for you and assist you and look out and help one another in this journey when we feel like we're connected and not divided as a unit. So that's what I took from that in the semantic ambiguity, and then the two sentences separate. I am is just a way of being. And I think people like to talk about woke and consciousness, but reduced to the simplest form, all it means to be woke is to be alive and breathing. And that is simplified by saying, I am. You don't need any more validity to your existence aside from the fact that you exist. So those two words just hold power. I don't know if that's what he meant by it, but that's the power I see when I see a statement like, I am. Or you tell somebody like, just be you. Just be, matter of fact. And then the other sentence is all of us. Maybe it could be a reference to like, I am, and then all of us. We are. You know what I'm saying? But that's my interpretation. I feel like already it gives you something to think about. Which Kendrick Lamar is one of the leaders at this, which is why the whole world was begging for him to drop when calamity struck. COVID and a nip death and such and all these other things. We were asking as a community for this man's voice, which should show you the power of Kendrick Lamar. Which I would say I don't think nobody should be gifted that much power just because it puts too much, to me, false. It puts too much false pressure on someone like Kendrick to try to quote unquote save the world or put everyone's mind at ease. He doesn't have to bear that burden, and he shouldn't bear that burden. I don't think anybody should bear that burden. Everybody gotta do their best as themselves without bearing the burden of the entire fucking universe. But I think that's the position we've put, or he may have, for me, put himself in by being so great. You know what I'm saying? Greatness come with a price. And then he says, as I get a little older, I realize life is perspective. And my perspective ain't different from yours. Just, you know what I'm saying, showing you that just because I'm Kendrick doesn't mean my perspective is just better or more vast than yours. It's just perspective. And life is full of perspective, whether they're differing or similar. I like that quote. And he gives thanks to his fans and all the people who listen. And then he starts rapping. 5 minutes into the breakdown, and I'm breaking down 2 lines before he even raps. It shows you how heavy Kendrick Lamar is. The images, the words, everything he's doing is going to have some form of reasoning to it. And then he starts rapping. I come from a generation of pain where murder is minor. Rebellious and more jealous, a chip you for designer. Belt buckles and clout, overzealous and prone to violence. Make the wrong turn, be at the will alignment. Residue burn. So already exemplifying the street knowledge and the science of what goes on in Kendrick's Compton environment and more environments like that for inner city black community. I come from a generation of pain where murder is minor. It happens so often it's minor. We always hear about it. Rebellious and more jealous, a chip you for designer. Belt buckles and clout. Overzealous and prone to violence. So our environment breeds these type of motherfuckers. Rebellious, more jealous, and a chip you kill you for designer clothes, belt buckles, and clout. You know what I'm saying? This is the era in which we in. This is quote unquote the culture. Thinks that's why he keeps saying like the culture, like this is what we represent. You feel me? Overzealous and prone to violence. Make the wrong turn, be at will of the will alignment. Residue burn. You make the wrong turn in some streets, you could be a casualty. So you're at the will of the will alignment. When you turn your car, you feel me, the wheels have to realign to get back square. You know what I'm saying? So I like that play on words. Make the wrong turn, be at will of the will alignment. Residue burn. Fire bar and a punch. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick is a puncher. I said this and I think I posted on Facebook. I think Kendrick is a great blend between Eminem and Nas. Eminem for the lyrical capacity, metaphor, similes, wordplay, syllables, all that shit. And Nas for the rooted consciousness, specifically for melanated beings. The relatability that he can give out there. Kendrick is more relatable than Eminem, like a Nas, and Kendrick is just as lyrical as an Eminem with more relatability to the people. You feel me? So that's why I love Kendrick, you know what I'm saying, and what he gives out. Missed at the inner city. Miscommunication to keep a homo detective busy. No protection is risky. Desensitized, I vandalize pain. Covered up and camouflage. Get used to hearing arsenal ring. Analyze what your life like to take charge. Or what your life take to charge. Homies done fucked your baby mama once you hit the yard. That's culture. 23-hour lockdown. Then somebody called and said your little nephew was shot down. The culture's involved. So another story, another hood tale referencing the type of culture in which we come from and which we unconsciously glorify. Once I get to the hook, he's gonna show, in my opinion, how we glorify this same culture that kills, harms, and destroys us as a unit. So let me bring it back. He said, at the will of the will alignment, residue burn. Missed at an inner city. Miscommunication to keep homo detective busy. No protection is risky. You gotta be protected in these streets. Desensitized. So if you're desensitized, you're so used to it that you don't feel anymore. Like you've seen murder, been around murder, it don't bother you no more. So he's saying the people in our culture and himself is desensitized. I vandalize pain. To vandalize is to, like, let's say you put graffiti on a wall. You feel me? I vandalize pain. Covered up. So again, if you vandalize, essentially you're covering up. So this is like a metaphor. I vandalize pain. You feel me? Vandalizing is like something you do physically, but to vandalize your pain is to cover it up. I vandalize pain, cover it up in camouflage. So it's a double right here. You vandalize pain means you cover it up. And if you're covering something up or you're holding it in, it can be kind of like in camouflage. Camouflage is like blending in. Bar. Kendrick will have bars, metaphors, similes, but then the whole shit is a metaphor. That's what I like about K-Dot. His whole song is a meaning attached to it. Desensitized, I vandalize pain, cover it up, and camouflage. Get used to hearing arsenal ring, analyze. And then that's another thing. I always have to emphasize the syllable game. You feel me? Make the wrong turn, be at will at the will alignment, residue burn. So he's rhyming two different sections of syllables. You feel me? No protection is risky. Desensitize. I vandalize pain, covered up in camouflage. Get used to hearing arsenal ring, pain, rain, with a desensitized, vandalized camouflage. Analyze. What your life take to change. Or no, what your life take to charge. Homies done fucked your baby mama once you hit the yard. That's culture. So, niggas go to jail. Baby mama out free. Some niggas plotting on baby mama is fucking they baby mama. What is a nigga inside to think? This is just fucked up shit that goes on in the culture. 23-hour lockdown. Then somebody called, said your little nephew was shot down. The culture's involved. So this is what a nigga in jail might be dealing with right now. You in jail for fucking 25, 30 years. 23-hour lockdown, one on the yard. Your fucking baby mama getting fucked. And then you get a call, a rare call, and now your nephew got shot in the hood. You feel me? The culture's involved. He might have got killed by an enemy rival gang. So this is just a beautiful told story. This is the second story already where I think the second story he told already in the first verse. You know what I'm saying? Or at least second analogy. I done seen niggas do 17. Hit the halfway house, get out, and get his brains blown out looking to buy some weed. Another story, you feel me? Car washes played out. New GoFundMe accounts will proceed. A brand new victim of shatter those dreams, the culture. Psst. So just another story, like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody did 17 years, went to the halfway house, got out, and got his brains blown out looking to buy some weed. Fucked up ending again for this culture in which we uphold. Car washes played out. If you're doing, this could mean two things. Car wash is played out, like that's the old method to try to raise funds for somebody's funeral. Or he could say a car wash is played out, as in acted out. Niggas is doing car washes to raise funds for the funeral. Car washes played out. New GoFundMe accounts will proceed. So when someone dies, these are the things that happen. A brand new victim will shatter those dreams, the culture. Feel me? Whatever dreams you have of making it out or being better than your environment, when you see an instance like this, it shatters those dreams. You feel me? Nigga got out the halfway house and got his brains blown out looking to buy some weed. Ugh. And Kent, that's what I said, he gonna make you feel. That's the thing. I love Eminem for his wordplay and his lyrical ability, but he don't really make you feel like that. Kendrick make you feel the way that nigga was, even how he was grooving to the Marvin Gaye. You know what I'm saying? I want you, I want. The hook is fire, even though I couldn't hear all of it, but he's saying I want repetitively, and it's different levels of want. I want you to hug me. I want you to want me. And it's like, look what I done for you. I probably want your acceptance. So it's I want, but it's blended in with a lot of wants. That's another part of human nature. Motherfuckers always want. So, and he says, I heard him say, I want you to want me. So I think he's referencing the culture, like whether it be the hood culture, the rap culture, or American culture, but I want to be wanted as well. So even though the paradox is the culture is fucked up, I still want to be accepted by it. And I think that could be a dichotomy or a paradox Kendrick might be facing himself. You know what I'm saying? And then second verse, I said I do this for my culture. And when he says this, OJ Simpson face pop up. You feel me? So maybe, in my opinion, he might be drawing an analogy to him and OJ Simpson. As far as people gotta realize, before that murder charge, OJ was a representative of the black culture, black excellence. So I do this for my culture to let y'all know what a nigga look like in a bulletproof Rover. Now, this could be a metaphor again for being untouchable in a car. OJ Simpson driving down with the white Bronco. Shit, it was damn near bulletproof. They wasn't going. If you murdered, and you're not gonna get what OJ got when he was in that white Bronco being chased and let loose. So essentially, this is just my assertion. That could be in comparison to Kendrick Lamar in a bulletproof Rover. Like, yeah, you are a black man. You know what I'm saying? You're targeted like most black men, but because you have celebrity status and you're Kendrick Lamar or OJ Simpson, we not gonna treat you exactly the same. You know what I'm saying? That could be where the symbolism lies. I think he put all people, all black stars who were vilified or who he may have looked up to. I'll give you the other stars he did later. But I thought that was emblematic of that with the bar. You feel me? I said I do this for my culture to let y'all know what a nigga look like in a bulletproof Rover. In my mama's sofa was a doodle popper, hair trigger, walk up closer. Ain't no photoshopping. Friends bipolar. And then bipolar, as soon as he says friends bipolar, his face shifts into Kanye West. Now I think this one was pretty obvious. Kanye West being accused of, or Kanye West, I believe, admitting to have bipolar disorder or some sort of mental ailment. Shout out to Kanye, that's my guy. You feel me? I don't know him, but I'm connected. Love you, brother. You feel me? But he's talking about his friends also, Kendrick. Like, his friends is bipolar, so they'll trip on you. Grab you by your pockets. No options if you froze up. Always play the offense. This is just shit that goes on in his environment. You feel me? If you froze up, it's not really an option to freeze up. You have to be ready. In these environments, it's survival of the fittest. Feel me? So, friends bipolar, grab you by your pockets. No options if you froze up. Always play the offense. Niggas going to work and selling work, late for work. Working late, playing for work, or working late, praying for work, but he on paperwork. Again, another analogy drawn from the culture and the place where most of our people come from. So he got the yay face with the bipolar. I think that's the association. And again, you got OJ now, and you got Ye. Two people who were heavily publicized, heavily scrutinized black men on a camera. Kendrick Lamar can have relatability to these men that he put up there. You know what I'm saying? Another assumption. I don't know if none of this is fact. You feel me? You gotta ask the nigga who created it. So, friends bipolar. Grab you by your pockets. No option if you froze up. Always play the offense. Niggas going to work and selling work, late for work. Working late, praying for work, but he on paperwork. Psh. So this is a dilemma a nigga might have. You going to work and you sell. You gotta do something on the side. You ain't making bills. Feel me? Selling work, late for work. Working late, praying for work, for more work, but he on paperwork. So while he running around shuffling for hustle, he on paperwork because somebody snitched on him. Now, this is where, you feel me? This is a subliminal Tekashi 6ix9ine or any artist who's snitching reference. Because he on paperwork, that's the culture. That's one side of the culture where a nigga is getting snitched on. And then I think he's referencing like hip hop rap culture where a nigga snitches and they're okay. Because he says that's the culture. Point the finger, promote you. So we promote snitches now in this culture. I think he's talking about the rap culture because Tekashi 6ix9ine. Still prevalent, still relevant, even though he snitched, which is a no-no in the community. Not because we don't want justice, but we don't want outside influencers providing quote-unquote justice to our inner city. We can handle that shit by ourselves. We don't need police. You feel me? We don't need white supremacy structures to marginalize how we move. So I think he's showing a little bit of disapproval for how the culture has turned to where We glorify snitches. That's the culture. Point their finger, promote you. Remote location, witness protection, they gonna hold you. I think he's describing Tekashi's situation. A nigga on witness protection, feel me? Remote location, ain't nobody gonna be able to find him because he's working for the feds. That's just my assertion. And then he says after that, the streets got me fucked up. And when he says that, Jesse, you feel me? I forget his name, Smoolier, the nigga who faked to get jumped in the streets. You feel me? He faked a scene of getting jumped. I think either, I don't know why, but it could be for promotional reasons or to just try to highlight an issue of racial tension in America. I don't know why he did it. We gotta ask him. But when Kendrick says the streets got me fucked up, he puts on Jesse's face. Now that could mean something right there. Jesse alleged got fucked up in the streets. The streets got me fucked up. Well, Kendrick is saying like y'all niggas got me fucked up thinking that I'm not representing a certain way. That's what I believe because Kendrick took a hiatus. Niggas was praying for him to come back and people was like questioning his integrity as to whether or not, you know what I'm saying? Like just by his silence. So I think that's where it might come in. Like the streets got me fucked up. Y'all could miss me. You feel me? Y'all could miss me. I don't have to be around all the time. Miss me with that bullshit. I want to represent for us. So everything I do is for my people, regardless of the questions y'all have. And that can tie into Jesse as well because maybe he faked that incident to really try to represent our people and highlight a incident that was real. Racial injustice, police brutality. Or just, it wasn't police brutality, I believe. I think it was just like white supremacy brutality against African Americans. So maybe he's using the Jesse to be emblematic of him because it kind of can represent like how he felt at a certain time about his own status, like confused. You know what I'm saying? The streets got me fucked up. Y'all could miss me. I want to represent for us. New revolution was up and moving. I'm in Argentina wiping my tears full of confusion. Water in between us, another peer's been executed. History repeats again. Make amends, then find a nigga with the same skin to do it. Ah! That's one of my favorite segments because it breaks down where he was at when Nipsey Hussle passed. This is his reference towards Nipsey Hussle, I believe. I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying? I can't be too sure, then you don't know. Mr. Beauty being wrong over here. But it sounds like he was in Argentina when Nip had passed and it hurt. And that can be emblematic of the Jesse face too, because like he may have felt conflicted about his position. Like I said, we like to give people power that they shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? No one man should have all that power. So when Nip died, maybe he felt like he should have been doing something else or doing more at the time. But the streets got me fucked up. Y'all could miss me. I want to represent for us. New revolution was up and moving. Now Nip led a movement. Independency, black excellence, ownership. It was just a movement that can push the conscious collective, not just black folks, but everybody, past our construct of indoctrination and mass exploitation. I think Nip was one of the leaders of that movement, Kendrick as well. So while he's saying New Revolution was up and moving, and then Nip died. So that kind of like, you feel me, parasails the revolution when somebody like that dies. That's what I feel like he's saying right there. New Revolution was up and moving. I'm in Argentina wiping my tears full of confusion. Like, what the fuck? Water in between us. Another peer's been executed. Water in between us, you're overseas. So I'm in Argentina. Nip died in LA. Water's in between us. Another peer. Remember, rap peer, so that's how I know it's Nip. Another peer's been executed. History repeats again. How many rappers we have seen die through this system? You can say gang violence, you can say government, but regardless, we've seen this happen before. Feel me? History repeats itself again. Make amends to find a nigga with the same skin to do it. Now, this is me hinting that Kendrick is saying Nip got killed by some higher forces. You feel me? Because he's saying history repeats again. Make amends to find a nigga with the same skin to do it. So we gotta find another black face to kill this black face to perpetuate that black on black stigma that's going on. If we did make a white face shoot Nip, they would know it was the government. But that's me going down the wormhole. Again, speculation. I'm not concluding anything, but that's what it sounded like to me when he said it. Like, okay, damn, the government made a nigga pull a trigger, but we know, you feel me, they put him there. History repeats again. Another black leader gone. Find a nigga with the same skin to do it. But that's the culture. Crack a bottle. Hard to deal with the pain when you sober. By tomorrow, we forget the remains, we start over. That's the problem. Our foundation was trained to accept whatever follows. He's talking. This is heavy. This is deep rap. This is why niggas was begging for him. Because he gonna give you something to really make you think past shaking your ass. Make you think past grooving in the fucking club. No knock to those who do that, but sometimes we need to have somebody trigger our brain to where we're now put to question the life we live in, our purpose, our path, and how we can help assist this world that we in. So I think he kind of puts that in perspective right now. But that's the culture. Crack a bottle, hard to deal with the pain when you sober. And that's another thing. This world, when you can look and have discernment at a certain level, it can hurt you. It can make you feel bad. And it can cause you to escape. There are certain things in this world that can help you escape. Drugs, alcohol, liquor, sex. A lot of the things that we might call vice-based. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's saying. That's the culture. Crack a bottle, hard to deal with the pain when you sober. And then pay attention to the syllable game again. But that's the culture. Crack a bottle, hard to deal with the pain when you sober. By tomorrow, we forget the remains, we start over. You feel me? By tomorrow, we forget the remains. So we forget the current state right after it happens. We start over. And that's the problem. Our foundation was trained to accept whatever follows. So in our culture, like Nip can die, a big figure can die, and then the next day, we kind of keeping it back steady movement, acting like that just didn't happen. Or acting like we don't need to take a new step towards progression. Going back into our matrix. Why? Because we were trained to accept whatever follows. Whatever comes with it, okay, this is supposed to happen to us black people. We were always oppressed, always gonna be oppressed. Like that kind of mentality. So I think he's tackling that. And then I think that's something that's critical people should listen to because they be asking niggas like Kendrick, what should we do? What? And that's one of the things right there. Don't forget. Don't forget what they done to us. Don't forget it so much to the point where you should be infuriated when it happens. And you should think to do something about it. Wherever your position is. So I like that segment. But that's the culture. Crack a bottle, hard to deal with the pain when you sober. By tomorrow, we forget the remains. We start over. That's the problem. Our foundation was trained to accept whatever follows. Dehumanize, insensitive, scrutinize. The way we live for you and I. Enemy shook my hand, I can promise I'll meet you. In a land where no equal is your equal, never say I ain't told you. You feel me? Dehumanize, nigga. The original connotation of nigga, dehumanize, treated like less than. Insensitive, scrutinize. So, like, this is the position our people are in. You feel me? The way we live for you and I. We're dehumanized. People don't have sensitivity for the black community usually. And we're heavily scrutinized. These are just easy observations through the history of America. You feel me? In a land where no equal is your equal. You feel me? That we're equally unequal. There's no equality in this land. Never say I ain't told you. Kendrick speaking out. Don't never say he ain't spoke out about this shit. You feel me? And then, right after he says that, he says, never say I ain't told you. And then Will Smith face come on. In a land where hurt people hurt more people, fuck calling it culture. Mm. Now, I think this is a direct reference to Will Smith being hurt and then hurting more people with the Chris Rock alleged slap. I say alleged because I wasn't near and I don't know if what I saw on TV was even real or scripted. That's just me, honestly. But his reference is Will Smith being hurt, and we're in a land where hurt people hurt more people. You feel me? Forgiveness is obsolete. I'm feeling pain. I want you to feel pain. This is like America's backbone. Motherfuckers want revenge rather than forgiveness. So I like that line specifically with the Will Smith face so we can relate. In a land where hurt people hurt more people, fuck calling it culture. And this is the first time in the song where he denounces the culture. Like he does it through the lines, but he was saying like that's culture. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. But now he's saying like, no, fuck calling that culture. We need to change the way we behave in this culture in order to create a new paradigm and a new culture. So fuck calling it culture where you're hurt, so you go out there and hurt more people, and now everybody's just getting hurt all day. Nobody's healing, nobody's helping, because we're in this culture that taught us, shit, if we in pain, it's like misery loves company type shit. So I think that was heavy, especially with the Will Smith image from my interpretation. And then of course the hook, I want you, I want you to want me. Look what I done for you. Just a lot of things inside the hook. Kendrick does this well where he blends separate different segments together so you can hear shit in the background. And you can hear shit at the forefront saying different things, but they all tie into the meaning of wanting. You feel me in this case? I like that verse. And then the third verse, he says to drop the drums. Feel me? Gives you a little bit of silence. And then he comes with the heat again. Celebrate new life when it come back around. The purpose is in the lessons we learning now. Sacrifice personal gain over everything. Just to see the next generation better than ours. This is a wisdom gem. Sacrifice personal gain over everything. You can go out and be for self. You can do things for you in this immediate life right now that won't have shit influential to do with your kids or your kids' kids. But a lot of the things, like let's say breaking generational curses. Your family alcoholics, now you are alcoholic. The personal gain might be drinking to, you feel me, go through, heal your pains. But if you sacrifice that personal gain by like not drinking and breaking a chain just to see the next generation better than ours, now you might have broken a generational curse of drinking in your family. Because you sacrificed that inclination to go pick up the bottle. So that's just an example. I think just in many ways you can find yourself in situations where either you gain or the collective gains. And then you don't gain as much immediately. But if you down for the collective, when you do take that hit, you are gaining. So the hit feels good. It's like giving somebody money when you ain't really got it like that, but you know they ain't got nothing. So it's like, okay, I'm going to take this little hit, but for the overall collective, this is a win because my nigga's eating now. So that was a power bar, you feel me? Sacrifice personal gain over everything just to see the next generation better than ours. I wasn't perfect. The skin I was in had truly suffered. Temptation and patience, everything that the body nurtures. I felt the good, I felt the bad, and I felt the worry. But all in all, my productivity stayed urgent. Face your fears, always know. Face your fears, always knew that I would make it here. Where the energy is magnified and persevered. Consciousness is consciousness is synchronizing crystal clear. Euphoria is glorified and made his. So he just talk game heavy right now, but it's on a metaphysical, you know what I'm saying? It's on principles different than cognition. You feel me? Face your fears. Always knew that I would make it here. More affirmations and little gems for you to keep. Where the energy is magnified and persevere. So wherever he's at is where the energy is magnified. He's at a level of consciousness to where it's magnified and he will push through. Strong-willed motherfucker right now. Consciousness is synchronizing. Crystal clear. So to me, I believe he's reaching a different state of awareness in Kendrick Lamar's life. Whatever that may be. Shout out to you, Kendrick. I hope it's good up there. Consciousness is synchronized and crystal clear. Euphoria is glorified and made his. So when you get to this level of consciousness, then euphoria is glorified and made his. Now you've reached a point of bliss, damn near. You know what I'm saying? Reflection on my life and what I've done. Paid dues, made rules, or paid dues, made rules, change out of love. The same views made schools change curriculums, but didn't change me staring down the barrel of that gun. Now, I don't know if he's referencing himself or if he's referencing Nip, but, and then I forgot. Once he said consciousness is synchronized and crystal clear, he puts Kobe's face on there. Euphoria is glorified and made his. Now, I just think, personally, Kobe was somebody Kendrick looked up to, so he put the emblem there. And then he's speaking on a higher level of frequency, a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of will at the time when he puts Kobe's face up. And to me, Kobe was emblematic of one of the highest levels of willpower you'll ever see in a sport or in any field. You feel me? The energy is magnified and perseveres. So this high level of willpower that I'm at could be reflective of a Kobe being Bryant. So that was my interpretation of the Kobe face. You feel me? Paid dues and made rules change out of love. Them same views made schools change curriculum. So Kendrick is taught in some schools, but didn't change me from staring down a barrel of that gun. Now I don't know if he's making a metaphor for Nipsey staring down a barrel, or if he's saying he stood down a barrel of a gun. I don't know if that's prompting like threats to his life or wanting to take his own life. Forbid me saying that. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't wish that on nobody. But in these positions, you might feel lost and out of hope. So I hope it ain't that, but the bar can be interpreted like that. Staring down a barrel of that gun. Even though I did all this shit, I changed schools, I paid my dues. You feel me? I'm reflecting on all the things I've done, but and all the great shit, it still don't change me from staring down a barrel of that gun at the end of the day. So heavy, even though it's ambiguous, staring down that gun. Should I feel resentful I didn't see my full potential? Should I feel regret about the good that I was into? Everything is everything. This ain't coincidental. I woke up that morning with more heart to give you. As I bleed through the speakers, feel my presence. And then right when he says that line, as I bleed through the speakers, Nip's face comes up. And then even listening to this whole verse, it kind of feels like he's speaking through Nip vicariously. Because it's like, should I feel resentful I didn't see my full potential? Like, Nip passed at 33 and he had a lot to offer. Should I feel regret about the good that I was into? Everything is everything. This ain't coincidental. Like, we look at death and we look at situations in life as if it's just randomness. But if you believe in a grand design, a higher thing, they're calling the shots. Our little moments in time and moments in life may fall, you feel me, may be superseded by something that we can't see. To where it's like, it's not just the chance and the risk that we take, but it's a grand design. And every action is indicative of that grand design. So I think that's what he means when he says everything is everything. This ain't coincidental. I woke up that morning with more heart to give you. Now, if this is referencing Nipsey, it's like, damn, I had more to give, but I died that day. As I bleed through the speakers, feel my presence. So I died physically, but Kendrick is going to let you know that that's not the only way to live. Physically is just one form. As I bleed through the speakers, feel my presence. And that's when Nip's face, and the shit was so fire to me because Kendrick hairstyle and Nip face, that shit went together. Like, I feel like that was Nip. Like, and then his mannerisms, I think they might have synced Nip's mannerisms, like just how he was, just all his movements, you feel me? As I bleed through the speakers, feel my presence. So through music, you can feel somebody. That's how we can relate to a Kendrick or a Kobe or a Nip. To my brothers, to my kids, I'm in heaven. To my mother, to my sis, I'm in heaven. To my father, to my wife, I am serious. This is heaven. So I think it's just reassurance and comfort for anybody missing a loved one. And then more specifically, missing Nip Hussle. Like, I'm gone, but I'm in a different place of consciousness. That this world probably ain't ready for it probably can't interpret. You feel me? I'm in heaven. You know what I'm saying? So offering solace to all of those who've lost Nipsey, and I think all of those who lost, period, if they peep the message. To my father and my wife, I am serious. This is heaven. To my friends, make sure you counting them blessings. To my fans, make sure you make them investments. So all this shit kind of sound like some shit Nip would say, to be honest. You feel me? Make sure you counting them blessings. And to my fans, make sure you make them investments. You know, Nip was a big investor of things and a big proponent of independent thinking and ownership. You feel me? So I think Kendrick was, well, he had the Nip face right there. So I'm sure, well, not sure, but relatively sure that a lot of this was speaking through the great Nip Hussle. And to the killer that sped up, okay, this is one of my favorite lines. This is for sure a Nip Hussle incident reference. He said, I am serious, this is heaven. To my friends, make sure you counting them blessings. To my fans, make sure you make them investments. And to the killer that sped up my demise, I forgive you. Just know your soul's in question. What? That's, nigga, I got the chills right now just thinking about that. That's a power bar for two reasons. Most niggas want revenge again. Again, this will contradict the whole message of this song. Where you pain, hurting pain, and seeking revenge for the pain, and keeping that ongoing cycle of pain consistent. So him speaking from Nip's perspective, and to really say to the guy that killed me, you feel me? To the killer that sped up my demise, I forgive you. Because that's what the world needs. It needs forgiveness. It needs acceptance. It needs love frequency to combat that frequency that wants to kill. So the dude that killed me and sped up my demise, I forgive you. But you need to know your soul's in question. for what you did. You took a life. You feel me? You're not life affirming. You're living at a certain vibration that's not spiritual. That's not ethical. That's not moral. Big Mr. Morale got to come down and tell you niggas this. You feel me? So even though you took my demise, I forgive you. That's the strongest thing you could do to somebody throwing shade at you. Forgive them. The weakest thing to do is react. The easiest thing to do. The flesh is weak, baby. But, man, that line, I damn near cry right there. You feel me? And to the killer that sped up my demise, I forgive you. Just know your soul's in question. Bro, you got some fixing on yourself to do. Bar. I seen a pain in your pupil when that trigger had squeezed. And though you did me gruesome, I was surely relieved. Now, I think this is a line referencing the pain that life brings. Life is pain. That's what they don't tell you when you come. You're going to constantly deal with obstacles, problems, and pain. So, to some people, death is a new form of life that relinquishes that pain on the surface. And now you're free. So, I think this is what he's referencing right here. I seen a pain in your pupil when that trigger had squeezed. And though you did me gruesome, I was surely relieved. I transcended when you did that. You know what I'm saying? I completed my mission. Wasn't ready to leave. Nobody ready to go. Well, I can't say nobody, but 33 Prime, Nip, how he wasn't ready to go. But he did complete the mission as far as spreading his consciousness to where once he is gone, it's still here. And to me, that's a real legacy. Once you're gone, you're still here. Once you're gone physically, you're still here. And then there's some other Nip is in many realms right now, in my opinion. Just my belief. So I completed my mission, wasn't ready to leave, but fulfilled my days. My creator was pleased. So I served my grand design. You feel me? And again, this goes back to believing in the grand design and believing in no coincidences. So you have to find solace in death, or it's easier to find solace in death when you believe in a higher fate and you don't believe in coincidence and chance and randomness. So when something like this happens, you can take the mind state of, okay, this is for a greater that I can't even fucking see. People die, people hurt, people sad, people say why, but true faith in the higher will relinquish that pain and be like, you know what? That man did a lot on this surface. And now it's his time to leave this surface. On to the different cosmos, different forms. So I believe that. But of course I hurt and I grieve and I pain just like y'all with death. But fulfilled my days, my creator was pleased. I can't stress how I love y'all. I don't need to be in flesh just to hug y'all. What? These rappers don't talk like this no more. Man, Kendrick, Nip used to talk like this. Shout out to Cole. Cole still give you these jewels that you can feel. Pac. So it's a different level of realness and understanding that certain artists give that makes them magnetic. You feel me? You can talk about pussy ass bitches and money all day, but that level of magnetism you ain't gonna get. You feel me? That legacy that you leave, it's not gonna be as felt as the one who talks about fucking dear mama. Who tells you I don't need to be in flesh just to hug y'all. Because if you hear Dedication by Nip Hussle, or if you hear fucking anything he's ever put out, he's hugging you. He's giving you his love. It's just not the physical form of hug, but it's the energetic connection you get from when you hear a Nip's voice or you watch one of his interviews. Man, boy, talk to these niggas, K-Dot, please. I can't stress how I love y'all. I don't need to be in flesh just to hug y'all. The memories recollect just because y'all have perspective and I penetrated y'all minds, they now reflect and permeate to society. So I can never be gone. So the memories recollect just because of y'all. I'm constantly brought up on this surface because y'all exist too. Which might go back to the root. I am. What did it say? What do you say? I am, period. Hold on. Let me bring it back. I am, period, all of us. You feel me? So when y'all keep me alive through the recollections and through my interviews and what I put out there to the table, it's y'all keeping me alive. I am all of us. Fire. The memories recollect just because y'all celebrate me with respect. The unity we protect is above all. The unity we protect, these are gems. Like, he ain't punching heavy. He had a couple punches to let you know I do this. But the wisdom-based gems are in here all day. You feel me? I don't need to be in flesh just to hug y'all. The memories recollect just because y'all celebrate me with respect. The unity we protect is above all. So our connectedness to life and helping out our people, helping out people, period, helping out animals, helping out plants, just being a part of the collective and not the idea of the structure, the construct. That is what we protect above all because that is the ultimate form of living. That is life, looking out for one another, loving yourself so you can love one another. So that unity we protect is above everything, above self-interest, above self-desires, above greed, above ego. This is the standard now. You feel me? I love y'all. That's why I keep saying that. I love y'all. I don't need to be in flesh just to hug y'all. The memories recollect just because y'all celebrate me with respect. The unity we protect is above all. And then he goes back to Nip face. And Sam, I'll be watching over you. Make sure my kids watch all my interviews. Black Sam is Nip's brother. So you could tell this Nip passed and hit him hard. You feel me? And man, hit a lot of people hard. To Black Sam, you feel me? I'll be watching over you. I'm here. Make sure my kids watching all my interviews so y'all can still get me. Make sure you live out our dreams we produce. Make sure you live out all our dreams we produce. Keep that genius in your brain on the move. And to my neighborhood, let the good prevail. So now I'm talking to the hood, the gangbangers. Let the good prevail. We on demon time. We want revenge. We doing all this dirt and grime. Granted, the environment helps dictate those decisions. But, man, you must know that your higher self ain't to be reduced by no circumstance. And you can be better than the highest self. It's always going to be an environment around you making you susceptible to some choices, but you have the potential to be above your environment. So into my neighborhood, let the good prevail. The good is within you. It's not without you. So to all you niggas gangbanging or in the hood, in these inner city communities, poor choices to make, let the good prevail. And try to make the best decisions even through that cluster fucked circumstance. I like that line, you feel me? To my neighborhood, let the good prevail. Make sure them babies and their leaders stay out of jail. Look for salvation when troubles get real. Cause you can't help the world, you can't. Oh, he said, cause you can't help the world until you help yourself. I just said that. You feel me? Love you so you can love everyone else. You can't help the world till you help yourself. So you got to raise your vibration in order for you to even give to the universe a good vibration. If you imbalanced and you lacking love, what do you think you're going to give the world? Love and balance when you ain't even got it in you to give? So you feel me? Look for salvation when trouble get real. So in these circumstances I just spoke of, when shit get real, look for salvation. Feel me? Look for your righteousness. Because you can't help the world until you help yourself. And I can't blame the hood the day that I was killed. Y'all had to see it. That's the only way to feel. That's heavy. Because without Nip's death, would the alertness around the collective have been felt? I don't think so. Not saying anybody's better dead than alive, but you just look at the grand scheme of things. After he passed, his essence permeated further than it ever did while he was existing. Unfortunately, that's why people say give people their flowers while they're alive, because his essence should have been permeated across the fucking globe. But his death helped permeate his essence. So he's saying, like, I can't blame the hood that I was killed. Y'all had to see it. That's the only way y'all could feel. That's the only way I made you niggas feel. Grand design shit. And though my physical won't reap the benefits, the energy that carry on emits still. I want you. So the energy, again, Nipsey died, he passed physically. So the physical Nip won't receive the benefits from that physical form. But that energy that carry on emits still. It still comes out of Nip somewhere in these cosmos. And that's the grand scheme of life, you know what I'm saying? Then he says, I want you. And then the song ends. Man, oh man. Dare I say, my favorite song of the year. But I ain't gonna lie, I've been tapped out of the media and the radio. And I hear songs, niggas still good. Niggas still make good music. J. Cole been rocking. Shout out to J. Cole. There's other new artists that are talented. But as far as purpose, as far as meaning, as far as substance matter, that one song right there gives you hood novels, gives you allegories from pain, suffrage, gives you Kendrick Lamar's perspective. He gave you 5 faces, OJ, Kanye, Jussie, Nip, and Kobe. At some point, they all either got scrutinized, or they all got demonized, or they all got murdered. 5 black males, so he might show the emblem of a black male in a high position, which might be more of a disposition. He shows you his struggle. I believe, like, this whole song is speaking from a place of hurt. You know what I'm saying? And though he's Kendrick Lamar in the position he's in, he's still going to be feeling pain, and he's still going to be feeling suffrage and hurt. He gives you metaphors. He gives you a paradox. He gives you soul. This is a Marvin Gaye sample. So he's giving you a different frequency. It's not the 808s popping like you used to where the frequency is on a certain level to where now, shit, man, I want to hit the streets, nigga, and get into some. Y'all don't know, man. Everything matters. Everything in our life. The grand life shit, probably none of this shit, but everything we do makes for another material outcome. You know what I'm saying? As far as the human perspective, you feel me, can look at it. So he gives you that. Then he gives you so many gems. Let me go back on the gems I like, which is so much. You feel me? Last line, even though my physical won't reap the benefits, the energy that carry on emits still. Fire. I don't need to be in flesh just to hug y'all. The memories recollect just because y'all. Celebrate me with respect. The unity we protect is above all. Fire. Oh, probably my favorite line. And to my fans, make sure you make them investments. And to the killer that sped up my demise, I forgive you, just know your soul's in question. Whenever you got somebody aiming to attack you or trying to hurt you, forgive them. Because this is the thing. You're free. If you don't have forgiveness, you don't have freedom. Because when you see that example of pain and hurt and suffrage, you, without forgiveness, will be taken there again. But when you are free from that pain and suffering that one has caused you, and you forgive them, now you don't have any burden or obligation on your spirit and your energy. So I forgive you. But you need to forgive yourself, because now your soul is in question. So you got to find it in you, the forgiveness to yourself, to ask yourself why you would even do something like that. Man, that was heavy as fuck. What else? Consciousness is synchronized and crystal clear. Euphoria is glorified and made his. Nice. What else we got? History repeats again. Make amends to find a nigga with the same skin to do it. But that's the culture. Crack a bottle, hard to deal with the pain. When you sober, by tomorrow we forget the remains. We start over. That's the problem. Our foundation was, I keep fucking that up. Our foundation was trained to accept whatever follows. Key on your spark notes, whatever, you feel me, cliff notes. Key line to remember, what's the problem in the diaspora, you feel me? Our foundation was trained to accept whatever follows. We accept this so much as a collective and as a community that revolution becomes obsolete. And Kendrick is just one speaker. He can't revolt for all of us. He can do his part from his position, which he's doing, in my opinion. What else? What else we got up in here? Other lines I like. Oh man, the whole beginning. I come from a generation of pain where murder is minor. Rebellious and more jealous of chippy for designer. Belt buckles and clout, overzealous and prone to violence. Make the wrong turn. Be at will at the will alignment. Residue burn. Missed that in inner city. Miscommunications that keep homo detective busy. No protection is risky. Desensitize, I vandalize pain. Cover it up in camouflage. Get used to hearing arsenal ring. Fire. Analyze what your life take to change, to charge. Homies done fucked your baby mama once you hit the yard. That's culture. 23-hour lockdown and somebody called your little nephew was shot down. The culture's involved. I done seen niggas do 17. Hit the halfway house, get out, and get his brains blown out looking to buy some weed. Car washes played out. New GoFundMe accounts will proceed. A brand new victim of shatter those dreams. The culture. And that finishes my breakdown, my reaction, my interpretation of the Heart 5. Honestly, personally, I can't get nothing more from a song. If I was nitpicking, I would ask for more. I wouldn't ask for more, honestly. But if I was to ask for anything more, it would probably be more metaphoric behavior within the lines, even though the whole song is like a metaphor of the culture. But that would be me nitpicking, so I'm not going to do it. 10 out of 10. He had metaphors, lines in there that were metaphors. He had similes, he had analogies, he had paradoxes, he had dichotomies, he had alliteration, he had multi-syllable emphasis, he had an actual theme. A lot of niggas make songs without themes. It's just a song, it's just saying shit. So everything I look for in a song, he exemplified in this. And all I gotta say is much love to Kendrick. You feel me? Much love to everybody for tuning in. I'm looking forward to, you feel me, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, man. That's all I can say. Shout out to Kendrick again. Much love to everybody. For more content, you feel me, hit the likes. Well, for more content, hit the subscribe, Mando. But to get through the algorithms, hit the likes, hit the shares. And to get all my content possible, which is bar breakdowns, eye tests, and all things in which I reserve for my members, become a member. It's that simple. It's your boy Dame, man. Let me know your thoughts, your comments. Heart 5, what you think? I guess sidebar, what's your favorite heart? They all were fire. God damn. But this one, man, this one gonna have me in the Rolodex for this one. I'm gonna always be able to play. The other 4 I might always be able to play too, but this one, instant classic in my opinion. That being said, it's your boy Dame. Peace.